Welcome back to Life Unrehearsed. Matt Del Vecchio here, specializing in home care and the senior living industry as we chant away sweet dreams there with the Eurythmics. Talking about dreams and sleep and lack of it. Approximately 1 in 4 Canadian adults were dissatisfied with their sleep in the years leading up to the COVID-19 pandemic. In fact, 10 to 15% of Canadians reported symptoms of insomnia associated with daytime consequences, while another 6 to 10% met the criteria for an insomnia disorder. Big numbers. Not getting enough sleep is associated with countless health consequences. There's also an economic burden in Canada. Insomnia is estimated to cost just over $5,000 per person per year, with nearly 90% of this amount attributed to indirect costs such as work absenteeism and reduced productivity. Well, joining us today is Dorrie Rizzo, PhD and researcher, clinician at the Insomnia Clinic, Montreal, which is part of the Behavioral Psychotherapy and Research Unit at the Jewish General Hospital. Dorrie, welcome to Life Unrehearsed.
Hi, Matt. It's really nice to be here.
Well, thank you for coming into studio. Gee, this topic of insomnia, whether it's increasing or not, we were just saying, at least, with mental health, people are more aware of it, if anything, right?
Absolutely. See, we haven't quantified yet whether it is getting worse or on the rise, but it certainly is topical. More people are talking about it, reaching out, with, talk around mental health being very, very well spread out, and people are really encouraging. Even employers are encouraging their employees to reach out and get some help.
It's a good point. We just talked about that productivity and lack of and it's at least it's out there. People are talking about it, and there are some solutions which we're going to be talking about. But first of all, what would you say, Dorrie, are some of the more common causes of insomnia?
So common causes, there can be life events for sure. If someone's going through, recent death of a loss of a loved one, or for example, employment issues or economical issues, those are definitely things that are going to cause, some sleep problems. But also, a person needs to be assessed for whether they have a sleep disorder or not. For example, like sleep apnea. Is that an issue? Because there are some comorbidities there. Like a person may have sleep apnea and insomnia, and they're, as long as you treat one of them, it's fine. But you need to see if perhaps there is another way of treating the sleep disorder. Like, for example, if another example is if a person has a restless leg syndrome at night, that's actually waking them up and keeping them up. That's something that needs to be addressed as well.
It's we hear insomnia, but the reality, you see this every day in terms of how it affects our overall health and well-being. So can you give us some examples of that?
Well, anxiety and depression, they often come together. If a person's not sleeping well, they might be a little more anxious. Depression is on the rise as well. But, if you end up treating your insomnia, it may have a positive impact on the anxiety and depression as well.
We hear so much about the importance of sleep, and it makes perfect sense. You're not sleeping well at night, then you're not productive the next day, and you're perhaps more moody, and it is just crucial. And if you aren't getting your sleep, for sure, it's got to be affecting your health and well-being. No doubt about it.
That's right. When people walk into our clinic or call us in, we often assess anxiety and depression because they often show up in people who complain about insomnia, and it may contribute, the anxiety and depression itself may contribute to the poor sleep, but there are often also consequences of poor sleep quality, which means something has to be addressed as long as you address something.
Listening to Life Unrehearsed, Matt Del Vecchio here, and I'm talking to Dorrie Rizzo, PhD researcher clinician at the Insomnia Clinic, Montreal. All right, I know I've been waiting for addressing some of the strategies for managing and treating insomnia. I'm sure many of our listeners are as well. So what would you suggest, Dorrie, to manage and get better sleep?
There's so much talk, Matt, about, sleep hygiene and rules that people need to follow, like, for example, stay away from your screen, or, don't use your screen after 7 o'clock. I tend to tell my clients that these are very rigid rules to follow. It's important we believe at our clinic, we have a practice that's very much centered around like individualized care. So we tailor, the treatment to the person. So for example, if a person, uses screen time as a form of relaxation, like I had this client who loved to watch documentaries on travel at night, and then he just stopped, and then he was super anxious in the evening after 7 o'clock and didn't know what to do with himself pretty much, especially in the wintertime. And so I asked him why he stopped, and he said, oh, I read, you're not supposed to use your screen. Matt, there's a very small percentage of people who are actually sensitive to blue light from screens. So, if there's something that provides you relaxation, we actually use it as part of our treatment. We will run with it because it's a positive thing.
So the key there is whatever is going to make you relax. So you're not
Absolutely.
as wound up and going and which is affecting your sleep. So other strategies that you think would be important that you could recommend to our listeners.
Creating positive associations, 30 to 60 minutes before bedtime, positive associations between bed and sleep are very important. So, whatever you have positive associations with, like, for example, if you're a person who meditates or who prays or who, likes to listen to audiobooks, bring it into your bedroom, make that your safe place and create positive associations. Another thing, relaxation techniques can help as well, but these are things that you have to practice in the daytime. Most people think that it's at night where you have to do most of the work, but really it's in the daytime. So in the daytime, you're building your sleep pressure. Sleep pressure is basically, what starts happening from when you wake up in the morning to evening. And the more activity you do, the better the sleep pressure will be, and then you will fall into a deeper, longer sleep.
Physical activity, exactly. Good point. And then you're able to sleep a little better. Listening to Life Unrehearsed, talking with Dorrie Rizzo from the Insomnia Clinic, Montreal. And we have to wrap it up pretty quick. But the Insomnia Clinic at Montreal, Jewish General Hospital, tell us a little bit about it and the services that are offered there.
Usually people, they self-refer, or they come from doctors who are, not sure what to do with people who have insomnia. They're medicated. Often they come see us because they want to get off their medication. That's a service we can definitely provide or help them with. But, often they need help adapting to their new, for example, if they have sleep apnea, we can help them adapt to their CPAP machines, which is not always, easy to accept. And we also help them with their anxiety, depression, which in turn will help their insomnia.
Yeah, interesting. And you brought up a good point. Sleep apnea isn't necessarily insomnia. It could be completely unrelated, maybe solutions for both of them.
Exactly. As long as you treat one of them, they will have a positive effect on the other. That's been shown.
And, I love what you say is just don't expect to go to bed right away and think it's going to be fixed. It's an all-day process. You're kind of working your body so that you end up having better sleep at night. All right. So much more to talk about,
so much more, yes.
But I want to thank you very much. Such an important topic. We're seeing more and more of it, and I think we're more aware of it, and it's nice to know we've got the insomnia clinics and others around to help out. So if we want to find out a little bit more about the Insomnia Clinic, where can we go? Is there a website?
insomniaclinic.ca. That's, you have all the contact information on that website.
On the website, insomniaclinic.ca. Simple enough.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Dorrie, for coming in.
Thank you so much. It was really nice.
All right, that's Dorrie Rizzo, PhD, researcher clinician at the Insomnia Clinic in Montreal.